So initially today, uh, we did not have a guest speaker, but I was on another call today at 12 o'clock, and it was George Robert III. It was his mastermind that I was on, and he did breakout rooms. He did breakout rooms, right? So in the breakout room that I was in, I was talking to the gentleman in there, and one of the gentlemen were Nathan Radford. He was in the room, and I started asking him questions, and he said he was into capital raising. I said, "How long you been capital raising?" And if I'm not mistaken, Nathan here correct me. It wasn't that long. It hasn't been that long. So it's not like he's raised 10, 20, $30 million because he hasn't. But the one thing that caught me is he said, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong again, Nathan. Um, he said we're still putting together our systems.
Yeah, that's right.
And when he said that, I said, "Hey, how would you like to be a guest speaker today on the capital raise strategy session? Because we don't have any." I said, and I would love to interview you so that you can talk to those you know that have not raised 10, 20, 30, $40 million, right? We always hear about the good stuff. I raised 10 million, I raised 20 million, I raised this, I raised that, but you don't hear when you start wanting to get into what challenges you faced early on. You know, after a period of time, you wonder, oh, I ran into this challenge and that challenge, but you don't really get into it. But Nathan is new. He's just getting into it. And I think Nathan can shed a lot of light on us, on some of the challenges that he's facing right now, capital raising. So, Nathan, I don't have your bio. So I would like for you to please tell us who Nathan is and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Nathan Rafford. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm a IT professional, so I know a lot of technical things. Um, Another reason I went into IT because you don't get to talk to that many people. Probably the biggest introvert there is. Not a super talkative person. And then I decided that I wanted to get into multifamily because I knew that was a good option, especially with the break-even occupancy and tax benefits and all the other great benefits as well. Um, I've been joined the multifamily mindset mastermind with Tower Devereaux and Ryan Woolley about 2 years ago or so, and my goal is to focus on asset management. My wife does more of the capital raising. Till then, I'm also helping out with capital raising and developing those relationships because it's critical. Um, so about a year ago, I was presented an opportunity to help raise on a drug rehab deal. Um, I brought in two investors, and I managed to raise 150,000. Um, and I didn't have any systems put in place. Um, the way I did that was um, I found one investor off of a virtual Zoom meeting, and then and I imagine that probably most of you are all in these commercial multifamily Facebook groups, and a lot of people post their 506c deals on there. And for those people that are accredited, normally they say that they're interested if they like their deal. So I connect with all of those people and start developing those relationships because that's the easy way of finding accredited investors. And so I found an accredited investor that way. Um, as far as in systems, the CRM, we do have a CRM,
Well,
InvestNext.
wait a minute,
Yeah,
Nathan. Before you get into the systems, I would like to delve a little deeper into a few things that you said
sure.
just now. One of the things you said was, I'm an introvert. That's the one thing you said. And being a capital raiser, you have to come out of that shell.
Very.
You are forced to talk to people, right? How did that work for you? How did you overcome that introvert to talk to people?
So it really requires motivation and willpower. Um, you have to really know why it is what you're wanting to do. Especially if you're an introvert, because it's very difficult. So if you want something hard enough, then you have to go and get it, and you got to overcome what it is. You got to overcome your weaknesses, which mine is not talking to people, um, which is more easier to do online. Um, but I hope that answers your question.
So, so would you say then, when you went out and got that one investor, you said, I went out and I got that one investor. So when you went out and got that one investor, did you have to talk to him face to face, or how did you initially reach out to him?
So I mean, I'm always in a bunch of Zoom meetings. So I found an investor in a Zoom meeting. And then in the Facebook post, I just add them as a friend and just message them. And then we just message back and forth. And yeah, we did have a couple calls. And then I presented a deal to them later on.
Okay, and so eventually you wind up having to face him face to face.
Right.
How did that feel? With the You had your packet, you had him face to face. What was going through your mind?
It's a good question. So previously I was already doing a bunch of Zoom calls, so that got me used to talking to people more.
Okay,
And the more that you focus on um multifamily, the more language and things that you learn, and you learn how to communicate, and and you really gotta have all the details and understand the deal very well before you present it to other people so you can answer their questions and any concerns that they got.
okay. Before I go on, uh, there's a Nathan Radford in. Do you know who that is? That's
Yeah, that's one of my other team members. His name is Eric. He
all right.
joined off the link I sent him.
Okay, so Eric, I'm going to ask you to please change your name from Nathan Radford. Oh, there you go. Thank you, sir. There you go. All right, so let's get back to the real deal, the real Nathan Radford. Let's get back to
Mhm.
him. So Nathan, when was it you that said to that one investor about the 150K, or after you spoke with him, he said, "Hey, I'm going to give you 150K."
Yeah, so I raised 150,000 from two different investors.
Okay,
One investor brought in 50,000, another one 100,000.
okay. And how did that conversation go with the second investor?
I mean, it goes the same way.
Okay,
I mean, first you have to really develop the relationship and actually getting to know the person well and what their goals are and why you gotta find out what's important to them and what means the most. And then you try to go out and help them with that.
sounds good. All right, all right. You said, excuse me, you said early on. We had when I initially asked you that question, the first question about the talking to the investors. You had said I had to get motivated. I had to motivate myself. Would you say that that was part of your why? You had to motivate yourself. That it was the why that pushed you.
Yeah, you gotta know why it is that, I mean, you don't just get into commercial family unless you just see a Facebook post and join or something, but a lot of us, we get our reasons and we know why it is that we want to get into this. Mine is simply because I want to be the person that my family can come to if they need help. Recently I lost my dog this year, and it reminded me how important that life is and that it's too short. Um, so it's gives you more motivation.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. You said early on when we was on George Roberts' show and we was in that breakout room, you had mentioned about you said I didn't have at that time. You said I didn't have any systems, right?
Hmm.
How how did you, without having any systems, how did you reach out to investors?
Yeah, so I attend Zoom meetings, just like this one, and I network and talk with people, and then I connect with people on social media, like LinkedIn, Alignable, Facebook, and I just talk to people. I do use a InvestNext as a basic CRM,
Okay,
just their free version. Same thing with like Mailchimp, but I don't have currently I don't have enough knowledge to do like Facebook ads or LinkedIn or really even the funds for that, such as doing like even a podcast or marketing a website, which is all very crucial to your systems. Um,
okay, okay. And now you said your wife also uh does fundraise. I mean, does capital raising.
right.
So is she the extrovert?
Yeah, she loves talking to people. That's her passion. She really loves it, and we actually got a local meetup that we're going to later this afternoon that she found on the internet. So we'll be going to that.
Cool. That's great. When I first started, um, when I first started, I remember I was asked, they said, Daryl, how much money can you raise on a deal? Because I was invited on this deal. And I said, I'll bring in $1 million. That's what I said. I'll bring in $1 million. Well, I didn't bring in no $1 million. I think I brought in just no, I brought in I think 250. That's what I brought in. But it taught me a lot so that on my next raise, I was able to raise more. From that first raise to where you are right now, what have you learned?
I learned that you really got to uh that you really have to connect, especially if you're capital raising into somebody else's deal. You really get to understand that team well and like on a deeper level. And and then if if you do have a lot of investors that want to invest, that you can form your own LLC and invest that LLC, and you basically be a bridge between that deal and your investors, and to give them all the information that they need.
Okay. The knowledge that you have now, the things that you went through, what would you tell another new investor that's getting started in capital raising?
Yeah, I love that question. Um, so I would tell them to like I know that they want to help everyone and get into investing into commercial uh multifamily. But it is helpful to pick out a solo um avatar, if you will, and really think about like, are you wanting accredited investors, which is probably a easiest and best route to go, like a neurosurgeon, um, or I mean, if you don't if you don't seek out accredited investors, then um, then you really have to have your systems in place, such as doing like these email campaigns and whatnot, to get a bigger pool, so you can have a lot more
Hello.
funds. Um,
Yeah, who's calling?
sorry.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's okay. Um, so I would tell them to pick out an avatar,
Okay.
such as like a neurosurgeon. They make like $800,000 a year.
Okay.
And then once you pick out that person, I mean, just you can put that job title into LinkedIn and you can search for it, and it'll give you a massive list of people with these job titles, and just start messaging them and developing the relationship and really talking to them and getting to know them.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, early on you said that you are into IT, right?
Yeah, that's my daytime profession.
Right. Did you ever think about having going to the IT side instead of going outside of the IT to and build that avatar with the IT sector?
I have thought about it. I'm not sure if most of them would meet accreditation. But yeah, it would be a lot easier to do that.
Okay. So since you're not sure, right, if they're going to meet the qualifications of the accreditation, what would you do? Because here at the capital strategy session, we're about education and about helping too. And you said something. That's the reason why I'm coming back to that.
Hmm.
Since you said you don't know if they can meet the qualifications as to be an accredited investor, what do you need to do, or what would you do to find out who is and who is not an accredited investor?
I mean, yes. Um, I mean, of course, you really had to understand like all the different jobs and sectors of IT, and and then I mean, I guess really you just need an age definition, and and then you would just have to connect with them and see where they are investing wise, and really get to know them. And I mean, even though that, I mean, if they're investing into 401k or whatever it is, I mean, you don't really know a person's net worth. But I mean, as you would get to know them, and you know the accreditation guidelines, you'd be able to make that determination.
Okay. So in other words, you would most likely put together some sort of a criteria as now I know that, again, this is going to push you out of that introvert. You're going to have to come out of that introvert because now you're talking to IT people that I don't know if you met or not met. You work, that you all in the same plant probably or same office,
Yeah.
but now it's going to force you to talk to them, right? So so I guess you would say what, that you would put together a criteria to build the criteria together, and just maybe first, before even doing all of that, just talk to them, right? What do you
Right.
say about
Yeah.
that?
Just get to know them and see what their interests are and what they want their future to be. And then you would just educate them about multifamily and the benefits that it can bring. And who knows, they may know somebody else that may be interested in that. Um, and other referrals.
Right.
You'd really never know where a connection will lead you.
Exactly. Exactly. So I have a saying that I always tell my students. I tell them to open up their mouth. I always say, run your mouth. Tell people what you do. Because if you don't run your mouth, what I said, what do I say, Alicia? A closed mouth, what?
Doesn't get fed.
Closed mouth don't get fed,
That's right.
right? So uh I don't want to monopolize this because I could go on and on because I know what I went through as a new investor. And I know that uh I don't want to mess up his name, uh, Masongdi.
Yes,
All right. I know you had a question that you wanted to ask Mr. Nathan. What question you wanted to ask him?
I wanted to ask you, Nathan, uh, between between adding the investor on Facebook and going into or closing, well, yeah, going into a deal with him, uh, what would you say that amount of time was between adding him as a friend on Facebook and closing a deal with him?
Yeah, I think it was a few months. But I mean, like, so because he was already interested into a 506c deal, that told me that more than likely he is a credit investor and that he already understands multifamily on a greater scale, since he's already in those groups. So it wasn't actually that difficult. I just presented him the facts and the details, and it was pretty straightforward.
Okay. Any other question? All right, Alicia, I see you got
Jim's
your mic on.
Jim's on the call. I think my
Yeah.
mic somehow was released, but I
Okay.
know that Jim has questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Jim. So so Jim, I'm gonna pass the mic over to you.
Well, thank you, Nathan, for joining us on such short notice. Always love to hear the perspective of someone that's newer, getting started out, because we have a tendency, once we've done it for a year or two, to forget a lot of the struggles in the beginning, and to forget the things that we uh, did to overcome the obstacles that we had. And I don't know why, but it seems like there are more introverts in this business than there are extroverts, which doesn't make sense. But I think all of us are, what I call myself is a practiced extrovert. It's not natural, but it's something that if you practice long enough, no one will know that it's not natural. And
Right.
you just have to stick to it. But so you are now
Hey
in,
Jim,
yeah,
I, let me do one thing right quick.
sure.
Nathan, Jim is the founder, the creator of the GOB network. I just want to put that out there to everybody, just in case those who don't know who Jim Biggs is. He's the founder, the creator of the GOB network. That's who he is. I'm sorry, Jim.
So that's okay, Daryl. I always tell everyone this is not my network, it's your network. And Daryl, everyone that Daryl knows, as far as they're concerned, Daryl is the head of the GOB network. And everyone that Alicia knows thinks she's the head of the GOB network. And that's exactly the way it was supposed to be. Um, but uh, in the systems and getting those set up, what did you identify? You did mention InvestNext you're using as your CRM. Are there anything else, other systems that you have implemented or that you intend to implement next?
That's a good question. I mean, I do use MailChimp as an email campaign. Um, once uh once I can become more established, I would like to hire like a marketing company to do a website and social media like LinkedIn and Facebook ads. And then that would give me time to focus on like a podcast or asset management or underwriting, things like that.
Okay. And MailChimp, for anyone that is not already using, is another quasi CRM, but really it's an email drip campaign platform. And Constant Contact, same thing. Active Campaign, same thing. If you're looking for a more robust platform that will give you a lot more than just that, especially if you're planning on paying for something, I would suggest that everyone look at systems like the hottest one right now is Go High Level, but a very similar platform would be I'm going to forget his name and forget his platform. Yeah, he's been around for several years, but those are captive platforms. So when you, and most of these are, by the way, so be very, very careful in choosing your systems, because if you get locked out, I'll give you an example. We paid $2 or $3 grand. I think it was just under $3 grand for 1 year of Active Campaign access. And when we didn't renew, and we had never intended to renew the platform, we wanted to use it and test it out. We uploaded all of our contacts, and unfortunately, we didn't have them backed up anywhere else. And when Active Campaign expired, I lost access to all of those contacts. And that is your lifeblood. That is the all the gold in the stream, is the investor contact information that you have. So no matter what system you're using, just a word of caution to back everything up, and try to find something that a CRM or a platform that is, if you're paying for one thing, gives you a lot of extra pieces to it. And there's also another one, WP Fusion, that we are exploring, that has a lot of those things built in. So I would, if you haven't decided on one of those yet, I would encourage you to look at those. But there's so many things that that come to mind about where you are. I love that that you're new, and that you're IT, and that you're introverted, but getting on a few Zoom calls, you start to get a certain comfort level there. So for anyone else on here that's like, okay, I'm really nervous talking to investors, then don't talk to them one-on-one. It's easier to talk to them like this in a group setting, a lot of times, because you don't feel the same level of pressure, or in a breakout room, where you're not trying to pitch anything. You're just trying to make a connection with somebody. You're in a coffee shop just talking to, folks that are in line with you waiting for coffee. So, but who else has a question for Nathan or advice? This was, if you tuned in for the networking, this is a clue. This is your chance to network. Asking a question of Nathan, or introducing yourself and adding commentary is a great way. If you're here trying to find investors, you can't find them if you remain silent. People won't remember you. So Alicia, I seen waved her hand. Was that a question, Alicia?
Yeah, I do have a question. I just got excited, one, because my daughter earned bronze in her cupcake decorating contest. So I just got that news. So that's why I'm smiling. So woo for her. Nathan, thank you so much for being on. The question that I have, because we come in contact with many people that are either new investors that want to invest because they know us, they know, like, and trust us, all of that good stuff. And I heard you talk about not knowing if the people in your field are accredited or non-accredited. What are some of the ways that that you're taking steps towards getting to know if they're accredited or non-accredited, or just to see if you can move into a better position of getting them to invest with you?
Yeah, so things that I've been doing is just talking to people and um getting to know them and what their goals are and interests and what their investing strategies are. Can you do I already have a good investing strategy, or can you give them a better one? And I mean, if their goal is that they want to, I mean, if their goal is that they want to retire young, they probably need cash flow. If they're older or younger, I mean, it all depends on where they're at in their life stage. Maybe they just want to put their capital into something long term. But you just have to talk to them, and even if they're not accredited, they can still invest in a 506B, and then maybe they can give you other referrals.
That's awesome. So when you're speaking with them and they ask you, okay, do you have any investment deals currently? How does that conversation look like for you?
So if they are established investor, and I mean, if I do have a 506C deal, then I'll present it to them if they ask, but I don't bring it up immediately. Um, if it's a 506B, then obviously you can't, and which you shouldn't, because they need to be educated and taught about the ins and outs, and then you can later present it to them.
Okay, so when you're first making contact, you're saying that typically it's more of a personal level, a
Right.
discovery. Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing? Haven't talked with you in a while. And then maybe on a second or third call, that's when you're presenting the opportunity to them.
Not necessarily. I I mean, I really actually try to understand the person, so I won't mention it. I won't mention anything for a long time, and I'll try to have them talk about themselves as much as possible.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're more talkative than me,
Okay.
which most of them are. So it's good.
Awesome. And I see we have Kevin here that has a question. So go for it, Kevin.
No, I had a question. Just a statement that I would love that a closed mouth doesn't get fed. I love that saying. Um, but yeah, no, I agree with Nathan. If you sit there long enough and people tell you their life stories and stuff like that, you know, sometimes I'm a friend with Nathan, and there's times that I sit there and I go, is he going to say anything? But he's a great guy. Thank you.
Kevin, while we still have you on, did you want to introduce yourself real quickly? Because I think this is the first time that I've had a chance to talk to you.
Yes, how you doing, sir? My name's Kevin King. I'm from Staten Island, New York. My company's name is De Leon King Properties. I'm part of the multifamily mindset group. Um, right now, as I said, I'm living in New York. I don't invest here anymore. I used to do single family and duplex homes here. But due to the tenant laws, I decided not to. I'm getting ready to retire from New York City Fire Department, and I do see a very good retirement system with the with multifamily stuff.
Thank you for that. So I appreciate it. And Leo just raised his hand. I don't see anyone in front of you, Leo, so go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leo Bristow. I'm new to the commercial space. My question, real quick, is how do you protect yourself from someone stealing your deal?
Who is that going to, Leo?
That's going to anybody who can answer, really. Maybe
So
somebody had
I,
experience
I
with that.
definitely
I don't know.
haven't, yeah, I definitely have an opinion on that, but I'll let everyone else speak first. I'll speak last.
So
Anyone else
let's
want to
do
address?
this.
Could I hear you, Dow? Uh-huh.
Well, before I go, let's do this. Nathan is. Let's ask Nathan. And not. I know I'm trying to really bring out more of the bring to get him away from that introvert, so that way we could, right? Because he's gonna be doing a lot of talking, so we're gonna help him along the way. Um, Nathan, have you ran into that kind of issue to where uh, someone tried to steal your deal?
I have not ran into it. But I mean, because I've been into this for a while, um, I wouldn't really present the opportunity a ton until you have it under contract,
Of course.
with the seller, and I think that that would probably solve a lot of things.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Um, so Leo, you know, on my
Yes.
Tuesdays call, before I went first and third Tuesday of the month,
Mm-hmm.
every single Tuesday I used to bring a live deal. Every single Tuesday, right?
Okay.
And I'm saying that because I really didn't care if someone stole the deal. I
Hmm.
don't care.
Hmm.
There's an abundance.
Hmm.
I have an abundance mindset.
Hmm.
I don't have a mindset of holy smoke.
Hmm.
I got to protect this. Nah, I have an abundance mindset. You can steal it.
Hmm.
Anyone up here could steal it,
Hmm.
but there's certain things that comes with that, right?
Right.
One is your integrity.
Right.
That's going to be going out the window,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Two, the word going to get around. Don't trust Leo,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's number two. And number three, there gonna be so many people that's not gonna trust Leo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Leo, you won't be.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole thing with commercial
Mm-hmm.
is going to go down in tubes. Now, unless you
Right.
probably go to industrial somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know some people probably say, "Hey, get them to sign the NDA." Let me tell you, NDA
Right.
ain't gonna protect you against nothing, right?
Right.
If they're going to
I
talk,
heard that.
right? That's just like trying to create a gun law and tell the criminals, "We got a new gun law. You can't shoot nobody."
Right.
Criminals
Like
ain't
that's
gonna
gonna
listen to
matter if yeah,
you. Exactly, it's not.
I
So,
understand.
so, but now what can you do so that no one gets the address? Just don't put the address
Right.
on the
When you
underwriter
put it
thing.
out. Exact. Okay.
Okay, don't put
That's
it out.
mm-hmm.
Don't put it there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What else can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Don't put it out there.
Right.
Right. And then what's the third thing you could do? Don't put
Mm-hmm.
it
Don't
out
put
there.
Right.
that.
Right.
That's
I
it.
heard that as well. I just wanted to see if there were
Right.
something that I didn't hear.
Yeah.
So
But for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. But for me, I really don't care. You want to steal it, steal it.
I heard that
Right.
too.
Because my underwrite not like your underwrite not like my underwrite. Your
Right.
integrity is on the line. It's going to go out
Mm-hmm.
the window, and most likely you ain't going to last long in this industry anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Good
There it
answer.
is.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
I will also add though, if I may, that it's a small community. So if that happens, it's gonna go around really quickly, very, very
Mm-hmm.
fast. And
Yep.
also if you steal it, you're not gonna do a good job as me doing the operations as well, right? So you can steal it, but the way I operate, you won't be able to get to that level. So you're gonna run into the ground anyway. So
There you go.
it's not worth it.
It's not.
Yep.
I
All right.
agree.
So let's go with Musandi. Musandi.
Yes. So Nathan, my second question for you was, uh, right now, how many units or how big are your deals you are currently, closing or going after with your investors you have available to you now?
So the the raise that I did, on the last one was not enough to be part of a GP. So currently I have 0 units. However, that taught me that I am able to talk to people and that I can raise and that I can do it. So that's what I've been doing. Currently I'm working on a 506c deal, but I'm not really going to bring that up in this meeting here.
You working on that by yourself?
No,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, when I
with some
say
other partners.
that's what I mean. Yeah, I meant to say with like you and your wife, really. Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. Durbin, go ahead, Durbin.
Yeah, so I guess my question would be, when you're like first starting out, like, because I don't really mainly look for investors. I kind of look for more like partners who have capital but just want to find deals. So like, how do you get better at like presenting opportunities to people and like underwriting?
How you get better at presenting opportunities to people?
Yeah.
I guess it's just like a handwriting. Like you get better as you do it. Um, I mean, it's really just talking to people and networking, and you really gotta understand what their criteria is and what they want. Like, are they wanting something long term? Or are they wanting something short term with cash flow? And then you can present them that deal.
Thank
So,
you.
hold on 1 minute, Durbin. Don't go nowhere. Nathan, so far everything I've heard is and is one, Nathan said you need to know what they want. Did I say that correctly, Nathan?
Right.
Okay. Nathan said you need to know what they want. The they is the investors. Okay. The one thing that I stress is you need to build a criteria for those investors. And how do you do that? So now I'm going to come back to Nathan. Nathan, how did you build your criteria for your investors to know what they wanted?
Yeah, so I mean so the deal that I did raise for, it had tons of cash flow and that's what the investors were wanting. Plus they were wanting, so that was right before the interest rates were going crazy, so they wanted to lock in their capital too. Um, so that's how I got them into that.
Okay. Did you ever send out a survey to your investor base to survey them to say what is it that you're looking for, instead of just taking a deal to see what they may want? Did you ever say, maybe I'm going to send a survey out to all my investors? What is it that you're looking for in a deal? What is your IRR? What is your equity multiple? What is your cash on cash? Did you ever think about doing something like that?
Yeah, I never sent out a survey, which is actually a really good idea. I would just figure it out in the calls, but yeah, I mean that's really helpful too.
Okay. You can write that one down now, Nathan.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Oh
write
yeah,
that
for
down.
sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, go write that down. All right. So the things that I want, Thurban, the things I would like for you to take from this is you're going to build a base for your investor, but you need to know what those investors want. You need to survey them, ask them, but the only way you're going to ever find out is you got to ask them, what is it that you're looking for in a particular deal? And you gotta give them, give them a scenario of a B class, give them a scenario of a C, a scenario of an A. And what are you looking for in these particular classifications of buildings, right? Uh, and when you mention that's the returns. So that now you got the survey, is done. You got that all in your CRM that this investor looking for this, that. So now you got the deal, right? And if you don't have a deal, if anyone here is brand spanking new, never raised capital before, right? Now Nathan has an upper hand right now. If I'm not mistaken, Nathan said this is the second deal that he's raising on. Am I right?
Yeah.
There you go. So Nathan has a upper hand. How is it that he has upper hand? Because he has a sample deal. He has a sample deal. Now, I don't know if anyone ever told Nathan to put one together, but I would definitely recommend putting together a sample deal, letting the investors see that sample deal, and letting them comment on it. Hey, I like that. So when you get a deal that's close to that sample deal, hey, I got the deal. Now you got to do is let your investors know. This is what I have. Now, the one thing, Nathan is also an introvert. And Nathan said I had to motivate myself. He had to go into his why I'm doing this. Some of you may have to break through that introvert. You got to pick up the phone and you got to call them directly and talk to them. Like my mentor, one of my mentors say, his name is Jim Biggs. He say, you don't need to talk to him forever. You just need to find out if you're interested in the deal. If you're not interested, thank you very much for your time. Move on to the next. You don't need to talk forever. Keep it short, sweet, short. Hey, I got this here, blah, 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 blah. That's it. Are you interested? Not interested? Okay, thank you very much. Got to move on, right? So there's a lot. And Nathan, I appreciate you coming on the show today because you may not realize it, but you have enlightened a lot of people, especially new investors who's just getting into this, who didn't know how to start or where to start or what to do. And by you coming here, you opened that door just enough where they can now say, if Nathan is doing this, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell you the truth, Nathan, I want you to put your contact information in the chat because I could just about guarantee somebody's going to reach out to you. Nathan, how did you do this? Right?
Yeah.
You're going to get out there. Let me Edwin, go ahead, Edwin.
This is a comment for Leo. Leo, one thing that I'm assuming you're talking about your wholesale deal, correct?
Correct.
One thing you could do is record on your county the contract that you have. And what that does is it actually clouds title. And so that now
Say that again?
Yeah, when you can go to your title company, whichever is handling your closing, and ask them to record your contract, your purchase agreement between you and the seller. They can record that in the county, attach it to that property so that, let's say somebody tries to backdoor you and let's say you've offered 400,000 for a property and somebody else comes in and goes, well, I'll offer you 450. As long as that contract is still active and you've got that recorded, it clouds title and somebody else can't come in. And that way you're not coming across as being, number one, you can still advertise, you get the deal out there in front of people and you don't care who it gets in front of because you clouded title, right? Your interest in that property is secured by virtue of that recorded purchase and sell agreement. Once a purchase and sell agreement expires, that no longer clouds title. The title is clear. So if you are not able to wholesale that deal in, let's say 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, whatever you have under contract, then it's free game at that point again. But that's a good way for you to cloud title, ensure that your interest is protected, not come across as being, somebody that the title companies don't want to work with. At the same time, you're protecting their interests. So.
Thanks a lot, Edwin.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
Edwin. Because I didn't even think about it coming from that
Yeah, that
direction.
was-
I was coming from a whole different direction.
I was thinking I actually I think I may have heard that in the past, but it just never registered, I guess.
Mhm.
But also a commercial deal, say I find a commercial deal, which I'm 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 really good at finding deals. That's not a problem.
Good.
And just making sure that the numbers work and so forth and so on. I'm just getting into understanding
Well,
how
well, Leo,
under. I'm
Leo,
sorry.
that's good. That's good. But I want to try to stick to the
I'm
capital
sorry. I'm
strategy
sorry.
session. But
I'm
that's
sorry.
good. That's good right there. Because let's see if
I'm
we can
sorry.
help
I don't want to
Nathan
go
some
off.
more.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no problem. No
Yeah.
problem, man. No problem. All right,
Okay.
Moses, go ahead, Moses.
Hey, Daryl, thanks. I think it's important that you understand your audience, who you're working with as well. Because I've seen IRR come through the pike as the big thing, the average and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm in New York City. I know Kevin is in Staten Island, I'm in Queens. But most of the guys are looking, you have two types of investors. One who's looking for cash flow, the ones that were older who wants to just park their cash and make a living on that and just live their life. They're going to go for cash flow, so they're looking for cash on cash. The ones that want to double their capital, they're looking for equity multiple. You know how many times I see every deal throwing this number around? Look at our IRR. It don't mean squat to me. Look at the equity multiple. That's really the money that I can spend. The rest is all time sensitive. If you can manipulate the IRR as often as you want in a deal and make it look like gold, but at the end, the equity multiple is what goes in my pocket. So I just want to, when I'm doing my raising, that's what my guys are looking for. So I have to culture my deal based on that and show them, look, this is the time, this is how much you can multiply your equity by. And so I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, and I'm glad that you did because that's excellent. That's excellent. And so now that leads me to the another question. That leads me to another question, right? That could possibly help Nathan. So Nathan, when you are looking at your investors, is that something that comes up? What's the equity multiple and what's the cash on cash?
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta figure out what it is that they want, and then once you know, then you can start going out and finding deals that meet that criteria.
With the market the way it is now, and I don't how long have you been in how long have you been in this arena of commercial investing?
About 2 years, roughly.
2 years. Perfect. So looking at the market, where it is now, comparing it to where the market was, have you seen a change, or have you seen where the investors are willing to accept a little less in the cash on cash and the equity multiple?
Um, it it really depends on what it is that they want. Um, I mean, it really depends on how much they want in cash flow and stuff. I mean, a lot of investors, they have a hard target, and you just have to go out and find that. Some of them, they may understand the economy and where we're at, and they may willing to be taking a little bit less or more risk. It just depends.
Gotcha. Being I want to see how maybe I can help you a little more. Have you started no, trying to educate the investors, the new ones that you're starting to come into? Do you, through your CRM, send out educational content, eh, educational content for them to understand what commercial investing, what it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
How often do you send out your content?
So our goal is to do like a social media post, at least like one time a day, and then do like one email campaign, every week. Sometimes it's difficult to reach that, but that's the goal.
Okay. So we have 5 minutes left, and I want to ask you, Nathan, do you need help with your capital raising?
Yeah, I mean, we always do. Something that we always need.
All right. The one that you're raising for 506C, you said, right?
Yeah.
Talk with your partners and see if you would like to maybe bring the deal here and present it to the investors. Let's see if we can help you.
Okay.
All right. And since we're on that, we got 4 more minutes. Who has, and Jim posted the question in the chat. Who, hold on a minute, let me get back to Jim's question. I want to say it exactly. Yeah. Oh, Nathan, make sure you put your contact information in the chat so that they can connect
Okay.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And does anyone have a deal they are raising on right now?
I do.
Go ahead.
So we have a 99 slab luxury RV resort that is in Crosby, Texas. 900,000 we need to still raise. It is on the GOB fund, so you can go to www.gob, that's get on board fund fund.com to learn more. You can also reach out to us. I'm at Real Estate with Alicia on all the social medias, or you can reach out directly on that website.
Fantastic. Alicia Milton is the co-host of the Capital Raise Strategy session. So Alicia, please make sure you put your contact information below. All right. Steve Johnson. Go ahead, Steve Johnson.
Hey there. Thanks all for being on here, and thank you, Nathan, for sharing. My team, we are actively raising for our next purchase of the mortgage notes that we're doing. We actually are putting in a bid today. A couple, I think, we're at $200,000 or so right now. They're going to be bidding, and we're adding some in last minute. So if anyone's, I mean, it's an ongoing cycle thing that we're doing here as we get new tapes of notes coming in. So if anyone's interested about note investing, what we do, please reach out to me. I'll put my contact info in the chat again, and happy to connect with others.
Fantastic.
And it can be for us, it can be investments as small as our minimum is 25,000, but we'll work under different circumstances for those who just want to dabble in it and try and get started, because we're buying up some notes that are going to be about a few $1,000s as well. So small all the way up to big, we can find something for everybody.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ava, we got 2 minutes left. I just want to say thank you all for coming. And on the first and third Tuesday of the month, we have the commercial multifamily mastermind show where we discuss underwriting. Underwriting is very important for you to understand underwriting, how to underwrite. Okay. And we have 1 minute left. Is there anyone else that would like to? Oh, no. Nathan, leave us with some departing words.
I would say to get out and network as much as you can and dig deep into knowing why it is, like why you want to get into multifamily, and dig into that and grab your motivation, and that everyone should know what it is that you do.
All right.
So Daryl, before we wrap up,
Sure.
I know that we have a group inside the GOB network that is dedicated just to women investors, and they have a regular meeting and call. And also, if you're from Arizona or going to be in Arizona, we do have a chapter that meets in person in Arizona. So Alicia, would you like to provide any links or how people might be able to connect to GOB Inc. or GOB Arizona?
Absolutely. We are on Facebook and also LinkedIn. I dropped those links in the chat. I will do it again. GOB Inc. meets on the second Wednesday of the month, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So do the math for all of your time zones. And then also GOB Network Arizona. We meet on the third Tuesday of every month via Zoom for both of those calls. Thank you so much.
All right.
Does anyone else have a meetup that they would like to promote? Okay.
All right. Listen, anyone that's interested in joining the GOB network, just come right over here to gobnetwork.com. If you want to be a sponsor, click here. If you want to be a member, click here. And just when you click on become a member, and just fill out the information right here, and someone will reach out to you. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you, Nathan, for I know I probably scared the heck out of you when I said I wanted you to be a guest. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Excuse me.
Save the chat.
Yeah, and save the chat, everyone. Please make sure you save the chat. All right. But thank you, Nathan, for your time, and thank you for helping us out and passing out some good nuggets. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see you back here in a year. I want to see how much progress you have made.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Thanks for showing up, guys. Please share with your friends. Invite anyone that that might benefit. And I do notice anyone that's on the call that would like to present or like to share their journey, reach out to us and let us know.
For sure.